Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica and I'm so glad you're here. Today we're making a Tiki style alcohol ink wood grain no soliciting sign. That is quite the mouthful. First and foremost, I would like to apologize for my voice. I'm a bit under the weather. So I'm starting off with Art Cast Resin by Designer Epoxy, and I'm using the glitter called Harry. That's by Mr. Nola's Glitter MNG Supply Shop. And it's really beautiful. They don't have it on their website anymore, so I'm going to try to find an alternative, and that'll be down in the description with all of the links. I did need to weigh this mold down. It's a pretty cheap mold, and so it came misshapen. So I really wanted to make sure that it was not when it came out. And here's the Tiki portion of the sign, a beautiful Tiki mask. The mold is by Lems on Etsy. Beautiful molds, and you'll see I do a still here so you can see her name. I actually have 3 different Tiki mask molds, and I love all of them. So here I am working in Cricut Design Space to create the stencils I'm going to use, and also the outlines that will go on after the stencils come off. I do end up changing the wording for the smaller text. You'll see that later. If you haven't noticed by my logo, the name of my shop, I love all things mid-century modern, but particularly the Tiki style movement. And I think one of the reasons I love it is because one of my favorite places, if not the favorite place in the world, is Hawaii for me. It's like I've gone home every time I go there, which maybe that has something to do with the fact that my mom's family is from there. My mom was actually born in Honolulu, so we have ties to the islands, and maybe that's why I love it so much. My favorite island is Maui, and my husband and I went on our honeymoon there, and we've taken 2 vacations with our girls there. And I just want to acknowledge the horrible fire in Lahaina. That was one of the main reasons we got the timeshare, was the beautiful old town of Lahaina. There was just nothing like it. And tragically, most of the town was razed during a wildfire last year. So we definitely have our hearts with Lahaina. We wish the best for everybody, and we hope that there's a lot of peace and comfort at some point, and that there will be rebuilding happening soon. I'm just messing around with everything, sizes, what I want to do. Of course, I'm adding sparkle stars in there, the 4-pointed stars, because what would mid-century modern Tiki be without some sparkle stars, right? I'm kind of obsessed with them, actually. You'll see my head make an appearance in this video several times. I'm sorry. I have really poor close-up eyesight, sort of suddenly. Just one day I realized, like, hey, I can't read any of the fine print on anything without taking a picture with my phone and zooming in. If you are middle-aged or older, you totally know what I'm talking about. Just all of a sudden one day it feels like it happens. So if you're younger, enjoy your eyesight while you can. This is the Stencil Vinyl. You can definitely use removable regular vinyl if you want to. I find the stencil vinyl to be easier for me. It comes off really easily, but it still holds the shapes. This vinyl that I'm working with here is so pretty. It is not just an opal vinyl, but it's also glow in the dark. Spoiler alert, you can't see it enough on what I make. There's not enough of it there to actually glow. I was super disappointed by that. I was really hoping it would look at least cool with our path lights on at night, but it's so small you can't see it. I lost the footage of myself applying the stencil vinyl and spray painting flat white over it. I'm so sorry. These are the wood look alcohol inks that I'm choosing from. I picked a couple colors to look at. So, to do faux wood grain, you need the white background, you need a super cheap chip brush with stiff bristles, and the right color alcohol ink. And you basically put drops of the alcohol ink on whatever you're working on and go to town. You're just flicking the paintbrush back and forth. And because the bristles are stiff and the way alcohol ink behaves, it makes these little stripes that end up looking like wood grain. It's so cool. And you can just keep going over it until you're happy. Word of caution, this makes a huge mess, so you want to make sure that you don't have anything precious behind what you're doing, and you probably want to wear an old t-shirt or an apron. And this stuff pretty much stains everything, so you have to be a little careful. And now I'm just going through and making sure I've gotten all the white parts and touching things up. Now, when you put a drop of alcohol ink over the alcohol ink you've already laid down, it ends up making what looks like the knots in wood grain. So it's super cool. This is a really easy technique and it's so much fun. I want to faux wood grain like everything now. And this color walnut alcohol ink did actually pull a little bit red, so I used it very sparingly. And now here's the best part. So satisfying. You do want to be careful when you're pulling up the stencils because if you dig into the paint at all, or the alcohol ink, I should say, it will leave a mark and potentially scrape off not only alcohol ink, but your white spray paint underneath too. So you want to be careful. I mean, you can touch it up for sure. It's not the end of the world, but better to be careful and try to avoid that. Okay, and there's the finished product. All we need to do now is put on the outlines and do our top coat. So here I am placing the outlines, and you'll see at the bottom that the wording looks totally different than it did on Design Space the first time. So artists, right? We're always changing our minds partway through. And you want to make sure that your transfer tape has actually been rubbed either like on your pants or your shirt, something like that, because we want to make sure it's not super sticky and doesn't pull up all the hard work you just did of the wood grain. I absolutely love the look of this sign. It turns out so cool. Does it work? Absolutely not. And you'll see pictures at the end. It's right next to my doorbell. I'm really not sure how people miss it or if they just don't care, but hello, head. Sorry. Yeah, we still get solicitors all the time. I just went bit by bit and was careful to try to line up the outlines perfectly. Of course, there are some mistakes. These items are handmade with love, so there are a few areas where it doesn't line up super perfectly, but for the most part, it's pretty spot on. And I have the insides of the outlines of the sparkle stars, so naturally I'm not going to let those go to waste. I want to put those on here too. And I do want to mention with the Tiki mask, I do end up taking a brown alcohol ink marker, and I kind of go over some of the lines and lower parts in it to create a little bit of contrast, because it was really hard to see just as the glitter. If you've seen my other videos, you'll recognize those San Francisco Giants water bottles. If you haven't seen that video, go ahead and go back and take a look. Those were super fun to make. I'm just putting on the final top coat now. We're coming up on the end here, but here I am, popping bubbles. You don't want to use a torch for obvious reasons with alcohol ink. And here it is all done. Super cute, love it, does not work. So maybe I'll revisit this at some point. But I hope you liked it, and I hope you learned something. You can find me on these other socials. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and of course subscribe. Thank you so much for being here. Take care, be well, and I'll see you soon.